La Cañada Flint Ridge area, 210 freeway eastbound. You want to stay off the 210 if you can avoid it for now. We don't know where this pursuit's going. We don't know if the driver is trying to get back to a familiar place or just trying to escape the LA area. We just don't know. So we're gonna stay on top of this, and we will find out when you will find out when we find out where this pursuit is going. Eastbound 210, kind of in that area between the Tujunga area and La Crescenta. They are transferring this pursuit over to the CHP. We may be able to see that now. Let's see. Yes, indeed. No. That is an LAPD unit. But they are asking for the CHP to take over. No off-ramps right away, but we're heading towards Pasadena, eastbound on the 210 freeway. This is that stretch as you head into the Crescenta Valley, where there are really no off-ramps to speak of on the eastbound side. And traffic conditions are pretty light. I'm going to zoom out here and show you kind of what's going on with the traffic. It is very, very light there. More police cars involved in this pursuit than other vehicles on the eastbound side. Approaching La Tuna Canyon, eastbound side of the 210 freeway, the Foothill Freeway. This is a 211 suspect, armed robbery. That's what the driver is suspected of. We're seeing lights on the vehicle now, so that's a little bit of a good thing that allows some warning for drivers up ahead when this suddenly comes up upon them from behind. They're swapping out LAPD helicopters. One of them was they need to go land for fuel. This is looking ahead here. This is going to be a pretty dream drive on the eastbound side of the 210. We're just going over La Tuna Canyon off-ramp there, and I'm pulled out wide there just to kind of give you a look at how many police cars are behind this vehicle versus other traffic on the eastbound side of the 210. Of course, the folks on the other side, it's kind of a rite of passage in LA to drive down the freeway and see a pursuit coming at you from the opposite direction. It's pretty much a given that we will all see that at one point or another. We don't have any word of how many. Actually, one occupant. They're saying one occupant in this vehicle. So we believe that there's only a driver, no passengers. And again, this person wanted in connection with an armed robbery, 211 armed robbery. Not sure what was stolen. But we're on the eastbound side of the 210 approaching Lowell now. And this is that area where, it kind of bridges the gap from LA over to Pasadena through the Crescenta Valley. And I'm going to quickly take care of some housekeeping here. NOC, KMBC1. We're in that area east, heading into Pasadena. We're probably close to being on the edge of Oates range. Ten four, appreciate that. So as we head east, following this pursuit, we'll be doing what we call switching mountaintops, the receive sites. We're getting a little further away from the one in the San Fernando Valley, and so they're setting up a new one for us, which is actually in South Orange County. So this is the eastbound 210. We have 10-4, 10-4. Okay, we're going to make that mountaintop change now. Okay, La Crescenta. La Crescenta is where we 10-4 is where we are right now. And we are, sounds like, very close to seeing the CHP take over this pursuit. You still have the lead car there. That's an LAPD unit. But I hear the dispatchers making arrangements for the LAPD to drop out and completely hand it over to the CHP. You can always tell in Southern California, at least, it's very clear to see identify various police agencies versus the CHP. The CHP has one white door, where the LAPD and other agencies have two on each side. So that makes it a little easier. There you see the CHP coming up, and they are moving into position. So the CHP, they have the expertise for freeways, and we're not even in the city of LA anymore, so it makes sense to hand this off to the CHP. They can pretty much follow this pursuit up and down the state of California if it really came to that. CHP offices are everywhere in the state. Eastbound 210. I'll have a cross street for you in just a moment. That is a silver Ford Mustang, not traveling at any great speed, but it is certainly a failure to yield on the part of the driver. Again, that driver wanted in connection with a armed robbery, a 211. Okay, I'm doing some adjusting on frequencies here because they just handed it off to the CHP. Okay, eastbound side of the 210. We are getting close to the Montrose area, the La Cañada, Flint Ridge, and Montrose area. Now the choices up ahead, other than surface streets, we of course will have the 210 freeway if he continues on the 210. And as far as freeways, could do the 134 if he continues into Pasadena, 134 west. But this is the eastbound side of the 210 freeway, just crossing Foothill. This vehicle, we're going maybe about 78 miles an hour ground speed to keep up with it. We're starting to see some brake lights there. See if there's something. No, just cruising along there, passing Berkshire. Again, hardly any traffic. But if he continues eastbound on the 210 into the Pasadena area, there certainly will be traffic. This is yet again, as I mentioned, the fourth pursuit in the that originated at least in the San Fernando Valley in just 24 hours. 210 freeway eastbound approaching Windsor, and okay. 10-4, 10-4, thank you. The CHP, they're staying pretty far back, and And one advantage to that tactic is to kind of let the driver calm down and not be forced into situations that could be really dangerous for the driving public. They're not quite in tracking mode, but they're certainly giving him some room to breathe. He's not driving in any really wild, crazy fashion like we saw over the past 24 hours in those other pursuits in the valley. But he is an armed robbery suspect. So they will follow this wherever he goes. About 80 miles per hour right now. That's what we're hearing. Now he's getting a little closer there. Now, of course, the CHP, they are very skilled at doing things on the freeways like pit maneuvers, working with spike strips if it comes to that. This is their playground as far as what they know how to do. And we're over Mountain now, eastbound side of the 210 at Mountain. And we're coming up to more traffic. You see that right lane there. A lot of traffic there as far as heading into Pasadena. So I'm going to pull out for just a second. And you can see there is a lot of traffic, or at least more than we've seen so far in this pursuit. Oh, he did a little switcheroo there. Little switcheroo, trying to throw the CHP off his track. That's the divider, if you will, between the 210 and the 134. Approaching heavy traffic. They are talking about if this gets stuck in traffic, to be prepared for the driver to jump out and run. That's what they're prepping for right now, because there is traffic ahead. I'm going to pull out just for a second there. Well, it's not right ahead, so 210 past the 134. So we are now eastbound on the 210 in the San Gabriel Valley. It started in the San Fernando Valley. A 211 armed robbery suspect. Not showing any signs of giving up. He's getting off the freeway. Let's see what that exit is. I believe Del Mar. He's off the 210 freeway. So now we're going to see something different. Down on surface streets, heavy traffic up ahead. So this car is really going to be kind of stuck. Well, it looks like you found some open lanes there on the right. That's Del Mar, the Del Mar exit off the 210 freeway eastbound. And now we're crossing over the freeway. And apparently we're getting back on. Only this time it's going to be on the westbound side of the 210 freeway. It looks like there's some lights on in there. I do, as reported, see one set of hands up on the steering wheel. Don't see anybody else on the passenger side. All right. They're calling this the northbound 710 approaching the 210. Eastbound 210, yeah, okay. Committed to the eastbound 210. This is kind of right where the very end of the 710 freeway. And now he is committed to the 210 again. Eastbound? Yeah, it looked like he did a switcheroo, but he is eastbound again on the 210 freeway in the Pasadena area. CHP now running the show here on this pursuit. It was originally an LAPD pursuit out of Devonshire Division. We don't know the specifics of the armed robbery or where it took place, but this driver wanted in connection with some sort of armed robbery, 211. And you can see in the right lanes there, traffic stacking up a little more than it was earlier, but the freeway is amazingly empty. If this had happened 2 hours ago, this would be a very different situation. Coming up on Lake on the eastbound side of the Foothill Freeway. Some moderate traffic up ahead. News Chopper 4, the first chopper to pick up this pursuit. Right, Alex? And 210, eastbound past Lake now. We're in the heart of downtown Pasadena. Traffic really kind of cooperating. You don't want a situation where the driver necessarily feels trapped in traffic. That's often when these pursuits get kind of dangerous. But up ahead, there is heavy traffic east of Pasadena. I can look out my window and see that. We are approaching Hill in the Pasadena area, eastbound side of the 210. Officers from the CHP's Altadena office engaged in this pursuit. They haven't really crowded this driver too much in terms of getting up on his bumper or trying to do a pit maneuver. So far, speeds have been pretty calm. We're looking at about 60 miles an hour right now. Nothing like the wild, crazy pursuits we saw in various parts of the San Fernando Valley last night. We're in the far left lane, eastbound side of the 210 freeway. We're past Hill, coming up on Allen, and a lot of, I'm just going to pull out really quickly just to give you a taste of what's up ahead. A lot of traffic. So we've got folks on the Gold Line actually looking out the window and seeing a pursuit, kind of slowly making their way by the train. We're approaching Altadena, eastbound side of the Foothill Freeway. Now he's having to dodge some traffic, getting in that carpool lane because the main line pretty stopped, or slowly getting stopped. We're starting to really get into the thick of that, what's left of the going home drive here on the 210 freeway. Now, this is going to be a situation where we might see, unfortunately, the driver do whatever it takes to get away, and we're starting to see that sort of behavior, some quick lane changes. We're approaching San Gabriel Boulevard, eastbound side of the 210. All right. We're still trying to see up ahead. It looks very heavy. It does. We've got a lot of slow traffic here, so he's going to jump into that carpool lane. They're talking about running a traffic break in the Baldwin Park area if this continues eastbound. But right now, he's making some changes. Now, this may be, looks like he's trying to get off the freeway, possibly because of all the stop traffic up ahead. So I'm going to turn that. CHP changing up the frequencies as we continue eastbound here. And some very heavy traffic now. So he's obviously keeping the option available to get off the freeway by staying in that right lane. It looks like we are getting off the freeway. This might be Madre. Yeah. I'm going to try to see what we can see in there. Again, no report of any passengers, just the driver, solo occupant. We understand, again, that this was an armed robbery, 211 suspect. And now this driver appears to be pulling over. Okay, so there's no traffic up ahead of him. It looks like he is yielding, pulling over, and perhaps doing the right thing here and surrendering to the officers. Now, at this point, officers will be on their PA system, very explicitly telling the driver what they want him to do. Usually involves throwing the keys out and then following some detailed, yeah, there go the keys. So that vehicle no longer has keys. At least we think that's what that is. That would be the first, usually the first instruction they would get. They'll usually also often tell the drivers to put both hands outside of the window so they can see them. There we go, both hands outside of the window. Then they'll instruct the driver to open the door from the outside and slowly get out. That's what we're seeing right there. Probably walk backwards towards the patrol units. Right now, it would appear the driver's doing all the right things here. This exit, I don't want to get off the shot here, but it looks like it's Michelinda. Now he's backing up. He is complying with the officer's instructions. So he's lifting his shirt up. That's the next thing. They want to make sure that he's not armed with something in his waistband. So they almost always ask the suspects to lift their shirts up. Now he's facing them, lifting his shirt up again. And they will probably have him turn around one more time and slowly back up towards the CHP units. LAPD, the LAPD is still here in terms of the airship above, the air support. CHP does have helicopters, but they're not involved in this pursuit. Slowly making his way back towards the patrol cars. That freeway, just full of all that traffic, was apparently enough to convince this suspect that he wasn't really going to get anywhere. So they're making him walk all the way back. Now, once he's handcuffed, they will also clear the car, which means just to make sure there's nobody else in that car that they don't know about. They'll treat it as if there is someone in that car. Now, as he's held at gunpoint, at least one of the officers, possibly two, will move in and put handcuffs on him. Being instructed to hold his arm out to the side. And again, this pursuit started in LAPD's Devonshire Division. We don't know if that's where the robbery occurred. Some sort of armed robbery started this entire pursuit off. We don't know if it was there or if officers just happened to find him and find that he was wanted for in connection with some sort of armed robbery. So again, this is we're watching this very kind of slowly meander its way down the 210 freeway eastbound through the Pasadena area. Was on the 118 when we caught up with it. And now these officers are going to move in on that car, and you notice their body language. It literally, they are treating this as if there are armed suspects in that car. And as far as we know, there's just the driver. So they'll double check and what they call clear the car, make sure it's safe. They'll open the trunk.
gonna be close.
To watch more heart-stopping car chases happening across Southern California, subscribe here. Thanks for watching. The Chase is on.